Hey everyone, welcome to Geek Rant. It's Greg here again on the channel with Toby and Sarah. And today we're going to be talking about episode 8 of the House of the Dragon. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. We're going to be talking about episode 8 of the House of the Dragon, and this was another brilliant episode, in my opinion. I have to say it was pretty fantastic. What did you guys think? What was your first initial thoughts?
Well, in the first 10 minutes, I thought, oh, is this going to be a bit of a slow episode? Finally, there's a slow episode. But no, it was just really creepy. It creeped into this amazing episode where Viserys performs. Like, I mean, the actor.
Yes.
Paddy Considine.
I keep saying Paddy McGuinness. It's Paddy.
Oh my God. It would be a very different show if he was doing it.
It would, wouldn't it? I just think his acting was Oscar worthy in this episode.
Yeah, I think so.
It was astonishing, wasn't it?
The way, and obviously there are computer graphics at play as well. But just the way that just so believable, wasn't it? It was just amazing, and you felt like this was something that you were watching history, like it was actually happened. But it was.
Well, we're a little bit we're a little bit further on, aren't we?
Yeah.
So the episode's further. Some of the boys are bigger. 6 years on, and obviously another 6 years. And Viserys he's really looking bad now. I mean,
we thought he was bad in the last episode, didn't we? He was he's on his last legs. He's taken to Skeletor sort of scenario.
Exactly, and you get to see his injuries on his face, the where he's
leprosy.
Leprosy, and he's becoming this character. You'd think, who on earth would want to play this role? I mean, it's grim. I mean, to have to do what he does in this show, you're like, oh my God, and all the makeup, and he must look at himself.
And when you see him, there's a bit where he sits up, doesn't he? And he's like a skeletal frame, isn't he?
They show him naked, don't they, from the back? I mean, you're like, how far are they going to go with this? I was cringing. And the thing was, right, you can have great CGI, but Paddy Considine, he embodies this. You just feel through him. You're like, oh my God, he's really ill. What did they do to this guy?
Very believable. And the way he's like,
so good.
And he's just like,
I don't think I could watch it again though. It was so good. I was creeped out. Oh my God.
But what was good also was it really brought out an emotional side of this all, didn't it? It really made us all feel for him and how he was on his last, and all he's really wanted, the poor guy, he didn't really want to become the king in the first place, really, did he? He didn't want to be sort of having to be under all this pressure all the time. He wanted his family to get along. He just wanted everybody to be happy and get along, and it's always just gone the wrong way for him. And for him to see at the end there where he stands up at the meal and sort of says, I just wanted, it's just really heart-wrenching.
And I just felt, they were so horrible around him, weren't they? All of them. And you thought, oh, he's right. But then you look at them all and you think they're all bastards.
Do you know, it's ironic. It's a bit ironic because he's the only good person in the room. And it's almost like their evil is eating him up from the inside out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like their evil intentions have just seeped into his soul, and it's destroyed him physically. And this excellent, brilliant king who's had peace in all the time he's been the king. He has just been eaten alive by their evil intentions, and that's just a kind of symbolization of it, I believe. But I just think that whole scene was just so well directed. The way that you just knew that the little snidey comments, and they all hate each other. They all fucking hate each other. And he's there, that one pure person that wants love and everyone to get on. And that speech was epic.
It was epic. And they're really, it's smartly posed as well, because the image is like the Last Supper image. Jesus stands up and he talks to them about betrayal. And then there's also the reference to the fact that it's very Shakespearean. Some of the lines you could just grab out of Shakespeare. It's so it's so classy. I was just blown away by it.
It's really well done.
I couldn't take my eyes off the screen at all.
No. And also that bit where he sits down and he looks around, and it's kind of they're sort of showing everybody looking like they could be happy, that there could be a little bit of resolve come through. And you see him. I think that's the moment he decides, I can give up now, because I can
leave.
That potentially they will get on if they listen to what I've said. And so that's when he sort of starts going into his death throes again, doesn't he? And they take him away. As soon as he's gone, it's like,
I feel like,
sorry,
it's difficult, isn't it? Because obviously, the princes of the Queen, the King and the Queen, they're very prominent, aren't they, compared to the sons of remind me of the name, Rhaenyra.
Well, you know how you were saying earlier how you think they're good and bad, evil. Well, the two sons of Rhaenyra are actually quite decent sort of young guys, aren't they? He wants to do his duty, you know, the oldest. He wants to do his duty, and he wants to be a good king, you know, when it gets round to it. Whereas Aegon, we saw Aegon, didn't we, at the beginning of the episode? He's taken advantage of a young, you know, maid, hasn't he? And
I know
his mother is totally distraught with him, and she's supposed to be seen as the one who's having morals. You know, she's brought up the worst children.
Well, I mean, it is interesting. I think that she's also quite disturbed. The mother. Yes. I mean, she's disturbed, and she's had to be involved in a number of things that I think has sat in her mind, and she's corrupt in that respect. And that has seeped into her children. She doesn't really mother her children; they just do what they want, don't they?
Exactly.
You know, if Sarah isn't there to be with the boys,
that's probably one of the problems, isn't it? You know, they don't have that fatherly figure, really.
It's good. Psychology is real. It makes sense.
Absolutely. And I'm quite pleased with the people because they've obviously 6 years has gone by again. We've got a step up in the actors again for the young kids, haven't we? So just as a side note, as you said last time, Sarah, Sir Kristen Cole doesn't look like he's aged again a single day. He's immortal, that guy. He still looks like he's 22.
And he's literally about 25. If he was an older actor, I could understand it. Like Damien, he's obviously an older actor, so you can get away with him not being a different actor. Christian, he's too young to not have aged.
He was kind of. I think he was in between.
He's become horrible, and when he first first portrayed, he was really loyal, and he's been really nasty. I hate him.
He kind of had a mental break, though, didn't he?
He did.
At the
he was
wedding.
in love. He was in love with Rhaenyra.
You know,
he wanted her to come away with him, and that broke him. I think that changed him as a character.
It did.
But what I was trying to say before I jumped in with the Kristen Cole thing was that the actors that they've picked for these versions of the sons, I think have all been really good choices.
Yeah, they are good.
You know, Aegon, he's got that smile, you know, that cheeky little wind-up merchant smile, and he does that so well. Aemond,
he's captivating, isn't he? That guy.
Oh, the guy's playing Aemond. My goodness, he looks like a complete psychopath, doesn't he?
He's terrifying.
He is an actual terrifying character, you know, and amazing. And I thought the two boys that they picked for Rhaenyra's sons, you know,
well casted. They seemed like the natural grown-up versions of their younger selves.
Good.
I think that must have taken them ages to do that. They've got to have credit for getting that right.
The casting generally is very good.
They're having to do this each time. Every couple of episodes, they've jumped another few years, and they've got to put another person in to do the characters.
I know. Can you imagine if you were like auditioning for a role and you're like, yeah, you're going to play one of the sons, and then you're like, but you only get 2 episodes because they're going to age them up. You're like, oh.
It's good and bad, isn't it? You're in it, wow, then you're out there. But
really
this all sort of kicks off when Rhaenyra returns back to see her father.
Well, the reason
I thought it was interesting.
Sorry, Toby. The reason she returned though was because of the injury to Corlys, wasn't it? And the whole succession of their house, the Velaryon house, gets put into question, doesn't it? Because the brother Vaemond,
God,
he steps forward and wants to become the head, and he's he knows
at this
truth
point,
about
at that point, the hand he's assumed power almost over the decision for who's going to take over from Corlys.
I think the king should have killed the hand at this point for almost treason for questioning the king's decision in the first place. Because the king stumbles in, and says, why are we talking about this? Because I've already told you what the succession is.
Yeah. So Rhaenyra's already come in. Rhaenyra has come in to give her father the kick up the butt that he needs to defend his grandson.
That's right.
So we had these 2 really fascinating meetings that come together.
I can't believe that the guy reads the lines that they put back in. Sorry. As the hand. Why did he do that when he knew he was guiding him down the wrong route last time? That's why they got rid of him in the first place.
We did talk about this before, didn't we, Greg? There was a 10-year gap. Between Lionel Strong's killed, then we get 10 years later, and we find that Hightower's there. And so we just figured there might be some stuff that went on.
I think it was also his wife, Alicent, who had pushed the agenda. She's obviously become a stronger character in his life and is leading him now, isn't she? Really, and also when I look at the king, he is a good guy. He does want to give forgiveness to people. Maybe they put it as he was wrong and forgive him, but he's good at what he does, sort of thing. So I like you say, I was surprised that Otto was back there as the hand, and you saying, why didn't he kill the hand? Well, that would have been killing his father-in-law. Do you know what I mean?
It is tricky. I think
they're all so interconnected. You know, the cousins and fathers and son, uncles. Rhaenyra's married her uncle.
Daemon is Daemon in this. This is his best performance.
He's become a protector.
Because I didn't like him at the beginning when he was trying to be this loud guard, but now he has assumed this role, and my God, he is creepy as fuck. I mean, Jesus Christ!
And those young princes are not going to fuck with him.
No, they back off.
Well,
he smiles, doesn't he? He smiles, and they just walk away from him.
Yeah. So, like you say, the Daemon in this was fantastic, wasn't he? And obviously, we saw them in the throne room. Vaemond has come out. He said, I want to be the head of my house. Rhaenyra's trying to, and obviously the king's interrupted, isn't he? He's come in and said, why are we doing this? We should hear from Rhaenys. Rhaenys. Right. Yes. Okay. And she, having spoken to Rhaenyra before, has now got this deal in place, isn't she? So her grandkids are going to marry her children. And they'll take over together as the heads of the houses and so on. And obviously she steps forward and says, this is what Corlys would want. This is his wishes. And that obviously gets old Vaemond totally off.
It's brilliant.
He goes off on one, doesn't he? And completely calls
out the bastards.
Bastards. He calls Rhaenyra a whore. Thing.
But he doesn't lose control. He just says it in a very controlled, forceful way. It's very, and you just think, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
You recall a few episodes ago, which is probably 10 years ago, the king had said, if anyone calls them bastards, remove their tongue.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Well, you see the king, don't you, get outraged and stand up to say, "Oh, I should remove your tongue for that," and then Daemon suddenly, I mean, you don't even get, you just see this guy's head get lopped off.
Yeah, there's half a second, isn't there, where you see his face straight on, and you don't know who's done it. Again, another brilliant bit of directing. And then they cut to a wider scene, and you see Daemon standing there. With the sword, and then he delivers a great line in that moment.
He does. He can keep his tongue. But good. I don't know if you noticed when you saw the body, he'd actually managed to cut him across the top of his mouth, so his tongue was sort of like
that's what he means when he says he can keep his tongue.
I know, but that was what I mean. It was such a good shot.
It was very graphic, but wow. Wow, what a moment. It was great.
But his performance, Matt Smith's performance in this bit, like you say, has really suited him, hasn't it? And how he's delivered this, you know, that moment after the meal where the sons are all fighting, and then he stands up and sort of stares him down. I thought that was another
really
moment,
creepy smile as he walks off, like you know, you're nothing.
Oh god, so it's but that's obviously set things off. I mean, another key point was Rhaenyra going to see Viserys when they turn up. He had gone to see him, and she's also questioning whether she wants to be queen, isn't she? She says to him, "Well, he's, you know, it's me."
That was brilliant as well.
He thinks it's Alicent, you know, and he said, "No, it's Rhaenyra. It's Rhaenyra." And she says to him, sort of, I think it's at night, she goes back and says, "Oh, I don't
important bit.
Why do I want this? I will do it if you say that you want me to do it, Father." You know. And that's where you see at the end of the episode. He has continued on that conversation to Alicent, hasn't he?
Alicent comes in, and he says to Alicent, he's talking to Rhaenyra, carry on and do it.
And because
I didn't quite figure out I couldn't figure out what actually happened at the end there. Can you explain that?
No, so basically what happened is Rhaenyra comes in and speaks to her father, saying,
I saw that.
It says, "Do you believe in me? Should I do this?" And Paddy Constantine is obviously in his throes, and he's not quite lucid. And then at the end,
Toby, just as a side point to that, she talks about the Song of Fire and Ice, which was about Aegon, having this dream about, you know, a prophecy almost, you know. Now it doesn't help that Alicent's son is called Aegon. You see, they're both got the same. So when she's then talking about later, he mentions the word Aegon, and he's talking about the original Aegon
from the Song of Ice and Fire,
who had given this prophecy.
And so he said to her, "Go ahead with your mission.
Need to do it.
I believe in you."
When Aegon spoke about a person,
what does the Queen think that he's told her to do?
That she needs to be more cutthroat and push her son forward.
Yes, she thinks that he's now saying Aegon should be the king. Your son should, you know, he should go forward and be the king. So it's a completely miscommunication, because
it's brilliant.
It was really well done, and it
really was.
And
it was so well done. I didn't catch it.
Well, it was a subtle thing, because the thing is, right, the actress who plays Alicent, she Olivia Cook, she looks kind of unsure about the whole situation, which would give the viewer an uncertainty, but then she becomes resolved just right at the end. She stands up and she looks and she's like, "I understand what you're saying." And she doesn't understand what he's saying, but she thinks, because I'm sitting there with Joe on the sofa and we're saying, is she believing it? Is she not? Does she understand? And it's a great little bit of uncertainty.
Good ending. Good ending.
Kind of.
And then he dies.
God, and the death was brilliant. I mean, how he died at the end. Oh my God.
I know. It was so heart-wrenching.
He needs to win an award, whatever awards you get for TV.
Emmys, I think.
Emmy.
Yeah, he definitely does, doesn't he? It was it was so well done. So convincing and really sort of heart feel, wasn't it? You know, I could feel the old, you know.
It made me hate all the other cast even more, which is what you meant to do. I just thought they're all bastards. He's tried so hard, you know. but it doesn't matter, and to a certain extent, you're backing Rhaenyra now, aren't you? Because her boys are nicer.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he sliced the Aegon's not Aegon, Jobby's eye out.
Raymond.
Right.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was defending himself. He was defending himself.
Yeah. No, of course, but there still can be some.
I think it was the younger brother. I think it was the younger brother who'd done this, who'd cut the eye. Yeah. So,
was it? Yeah. That's right. It was. Yeah.
It was a fantastic episode and so well written, so well directed. It's stepping up, which is great. As we're going through this series, it keeps stepping up and keeps delivering.
Hard to believe. I think what's interesting is if I said to you, right, we're going to watch an episode where there's two main scenes. One of them, they're discussing some stuff in a throne room, and the other one, they're sitting around a dinner table.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound that great, does it?
No.
But but because the characters are so good and the writing is brilliant.
Yeah,
it was just totally gripping, and I thought they were so brave at times. It felt like they were really pushing the ideas and really kind of really taking risks with what they were doing. Like the slow walk of Paddy Constantine of Viserys up the middle of the throne room. It was torturous, but it was so well done, and it's so nice to see.
It wasn't too much, you see. It painted the right thing, didn't it? It painted the right picture, and it was nice that Daemon stepped up and helped into the throne. It was almost like I'm trying to forgive you, brother. Each other.
There was sympathy, wasn't
up,
there? Sympathy and
Well, that would be the last time we would have seen him, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh,
mind-blowing
stuff. Absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant.
The other thing that's interesting as well, they've started to bring a lot more of the symbols of the star and the seven gods, that were more prevalent in Game of Thrones.
Becoming very religious.
And obviously they make a couple of comments about it, don't they? When Rhaenyra comes back to the castle, it says, there's some definite changes, and you see this great big blooming star, don't you? And so obviously I wonder if she's taken to a bit of religion as a way of repenting for some of her potential misdeeds. And I also thought she was at the end of the meal when Rhaenyra sort of stood up and said, I propose a toast to the Queen and for supporting my father and looking after him and so on. I thought that was a point where actually it could have changed. It could have just seemed to soften a little bit there and said, why don't you stay? And if you like Toby's saying, I think her resolve was held when she heard what Viserys said in his dying bed.
That's the masterful bit of the writing. That's the bit, why that bit's so good. Because they lulled us into believing she was going to be good.
I know.
And then this fateful statement from Viserys has twisted her back the other way.
The other thing I sort of thought was, she had said, "Oh, stay," and she said, "Okay, I'll send the boat and we'll take the kids home, and then we'll come back by dragon." So I wonder if she's going to come back and everything's suddenly it's going to be all the king's dead and now you're not. It's Aegon who's going to be inheriting.
How many more episodes are there? Just one, isn't it? Is it one or two? Two more episodes. Well, I can tell you now, and everybody's been saying it doesn't end well. So
no, but there's going to be. I think there's going to be a second series. There's going to be a second series.
Is there?
Yes.
Of course. I'm surprised that they've tried to pack so much into this season. They could have spread it out a bit, couldn't they?
And you say that, but it's been so perfect. I dare question how they do this stuff now.
I know.
It's so. Yeah,
it has been really
run
good.
Out of story.
I don't know because there's obviously there's 200 years between now and Game of Thrones.
Not anymore.
And it's all right, 180. But there are still lots of Targaryens that will sit on the throne and work their way.
Are there lots of books though that have been written?
they adapt things, don't they? This is an
I
adaptation,
know,
not from a book.
This is the one book though. This is all about this one book.
Yeah,
I would say, as much as I want another series, would they be able to do one as good as this? And are there any other books that he's written that they could adapt?
Yeah.
No,
because I would worry because I wouldn't want them to do like a Game of Thrones season 8. And it would be that just wouldn't fit.
No,
I just think
I think you're
politics is so
It'll
deep.
be a shame if they don't do another series though, because they've got it so right. It's so good.
Well, it's true.
It's tempting.
You want more of it, don't you? You want more, but if they haven't got the same circumstances,
all the gaps.
Yeah, I just. I mean, I'm going to have to read the book, I guess. But we don't know enough about the number of texts he's written in amongst all of this stuff, because as far as I can tell, he's still working on the final Game of Thrones book.
That's right, he is.
So, George R. R. Martin. So
he is.
Whether we're going to get anything like that.
Yeah, I think he's still reeling from the actual TV show, isn't it? How they ended it. So I think perhaps he
knows. Yeah. He can draw this out. Whenever he finishes it, and people would spotlight still on him. When he finishes it, it's going to be one of the biggest selling books of all time. The only other character I was going to mention, who was only just in at the very end, was the is it Marcella? Is that her name? She's this.
Oh yes.
She was Daemon's. And she's obviously got Massaria. Sorry, and she's obviously got people from the palace. Coming and giving her information and
she's a bit like Littlefinger, isn't she?
She's obviously a little bit bitter, isn't she? About being kicked to the curb by Daemon.
Maybe.
The other character that we didn't see was the sneaky brother.
Laris.
Yes, Laris Strong.
Yeah. He wasn't, was he? Which is really interesting. Yeah. It's quite interesting.
I think he's probably one of the weaker characters in it, I think.
Yeah, and he's
if there are any.
I thought how he got rid of the Strongs was really good. I thought that was quite nicely done.
I thought it was a bit out of the blue, but it was good. I mean, it was very sort of Games of Thrones, wasn't it? Just kill him, But
now the other question is, Corlys. We don't know that he's
I don't think he's dead. No, I think he's going to turn up.
He's been injured, and it's been told, isn't it? So he might turn up, and suddenly
I think he's going to
cause contradiction to what's gone on.
Yeah, he might turn up with his son, who didn't actually get killed in the last episode, because I wasn't on the chat in the last episode.
No,
the mum, the queen that never was, really holds that against. Viserys, is that right?
Yeah, and Rhaenyra,
because she thinks that she called for his death, and
so that she can marry Daemon. Yeah.
Well, she's got a point. She's got a point.
No, but she didn't kill him because he's not dead. Because she didn't care for him, and she's not that evil.
No.
I don't think she's that bad compared to what others are prepared to do.
We are kind of meant to side with her, but she is in an ancestral marriage, and she does have bastard children, and she did get her husband knocked off. I don't know whether she knows that he's actually not dead, and I think that there's, and she goes along with Daemon's way.
No,
she's Daemon who's the ultimate.
She knows he's not dead.
It's the less. Well, we don't know that. We don't know that for sure, though, do we?
She organised it. She chatted with him and organised it. That's why she said to the mum.
Well, you were never physically ever shown that she did anything.
They don't ever, because Daemon indicates to the guy that he could kill him and then escape and have a life in another realm.
Yeah, Daemon goes and does all the work, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So she's got quite a handy henchman there to carry things off for her husband. So well, that was good. That was quite a blow.
Oh yeah.
Well,
anyway,
I think it was an exceptional episode.
It was a great episode.
Really good.
Great episode. Can't wait for the next one. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, thanks for joining us today. We'd obviously love people to subscribe and like the videos. That would be much appreciated. Otherwise, we'll see you again soon.